What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorean here. Welcome back to a brand new video. And today what I want to do is break down the trailer and sneak peeks for 10-15 of The Walking Dead. Now, there's a lot of speculation that there will be some big deaths in this episode, but do I think there will be any big deaths in this episode? Nah. But in all seriousness, these trailers and sneak peeks do pose many questions, so let's get into the trailers and sneak peeks and everything and try to answer those questions. Also, the trailers and sneak peeks and everything will be linked down below in the description, so let's first go over the trailer. The trailer begins with a shot clearly inside Alexandria telling about the windmill. We see tons of walkers inside, most likely meaning the invasion of Alexandria with the horde has already begun with, like, you know, Beta and all of them leading the walkers. We next see Beta and some whispers on, like, you know, the windmill and everything. And a whisper does mention to Beta that everyone has left Alexandria quickly. Now, this part does kind of bother me, mainly because it means we most likely won't get the badass fight inside of Alexandria, like them all defending it. But telling by the massive number of walkers here, this does mean the full horde is here and everything, and it does look awesome because of just like the massive scale of walkers. But Beta does mention to prepare the horde to leave, but to where? There aren't many places up for the, like, you know, the group to go or anything. The hilltops burned down, the kingdom is still up, but the Walking Dead can't film there anymore or anything as far as I'm concerned, and Alexandria is pretty much taken over. Maybe the Commonwealth? I don't know. Also, we do see a water tower in the shot right here, like very far off in the distance, and a lot of people have been speculating or have been, like, you know, putting lots of speculations that this is the tower. Do I agree? I don't know. Maybe they take care of that before they get, like, you know, the horde and Beta and everything gets to Alexandria, or it could be after. Next, we go back to where we left off in the alley in Pittsburgh with Eugene, Ezekiel, Yumiko, and the princess. Yumiko mentions what does, like, you know, the princess want and why is she here, and the princess gets offended and points her LMG at them and everything. I'm not gonna lie, she does look pretty cool. I mean, at first, like, when there was a still of her, like, character, I was like, oh, okay, this character, like, her outfit just looks like cosplay. The character isn't bad, you know, the outfit just looks like cosplay. It looks really ridiculous. But seeing it in action or anything, it does look really cool, actually. Like, I really do like it. It's like, you know, it's bright. It's a lot better than, like, you know, everyone's kind of bland outfits. It's actually really bright and, you know, good for the eyes. Next, we see Beta leading the horde to a new location, most likely to find the group or anything, but where could they have gone? Also, this right here, this shot is awesome because of just the number of walkers. Like, there are a lot of them. Also, I just noticed this. See right here, if you look very, very closely, you can see a building right here all between, like, the walkers and the whispers. Now, you got some possible set photos and everything and some, like, you know, info about 1016 and everything, and it is said that a group might get trapped or, like, you know, stuck into a hospital due to Alpha's horde. So this right here will most likely be where, like, you know, the episode ends and everything of, yeah, like, the end of 15 and everything, and might be a cliffhanger of, like, you know, the horde surrounding this hospital, you know, and everything. It will be a cliffhanger. Here's a photo of the hospital and everything, and it does look kind of similar, and this setting does kind of look a little bit like a hospital from, like, you know, the little bit we can see. Next, we go to like Judith and Daryl inside the woods and anything, and this is most likely after the group, like, you know, they escape Alexandria and they leave, and she does mention to Daryl that she wants to, like, you know, help protect people like Daryl, which is kind of sweet, but weirdly enough, we see them run away and we get a shot of a hand, or we get a hand in shot and everything, and now that's like, you know, what's weird about that and everything is that this hand looks a little clean in my opinion, at least from, like, the little bit of light we see and everything. It's probably just me, but could it be a whisper, a walker, a person from the group? Who knows? We see Judith, like, you know, take down a walker and anything, which is cool, and she really must like the style of taking down walkers because she always does use this style of just, like, you know, sticking the knife or sword down. We cut to the princess, Yumiko, Ezekiel, and Eugene and anything walking through the small field, and I do wonder, where are they going? Most likely to the train tracks and everything, but what is that building behind them? Looks obviously like a factory and everything, but I wonder if there's any significance to it. We next see them kind of cut through a gate and everything, maybe sneaking into somewhere, maybe entering the train yard to possibly meet Stephanie. We next see Aaron and Alden making their way through the woods. They kind of look like they're sneaking, which is odd. They might be trying to kill a whisper, walker, or something else, but when it cuts, we see a large amount of walkers that they're kind of, like, you know, like sneaking up on or kind of watching and everything, possibly the horde. We cut to Lydia, who's in this room, and we see Negan looking at her, meaning he came back and everything to the group, and meaning she actually made her way back and everything and escaped with them, you know, escaped from Alexandria. But I'm wondering if, like, you know, Negan told Lydia about the deed he did and everything, and I'm very interested to see her reaction to it, or if she will have a reaction at all. Also, these two, Negan and Lydia and everything, were rumored to be a part of this group that's in the hospital, so I wonder if this is where, like, you know, they go before they get stuck and anything, and if this is where, like, if they're in the hospital right now. We next see Yumiko, who mentions missing this meeting is not an option, so I wonder, like, you know, who mentions that they must go back or that that they, like, you know, or if they run into an obstacle. Well, we do see them step forward and, like, you know, an explosion goes off and they seem surprised. So I'm wondering if there's, like, if this explosion or these explosions, like, are kind of set up around them or around this, like, area, kind of like a minefield, and that maybe, like, somebody loses hope and everything, and then Yumiko reminds them that they cannot turn back now. Maybe. We see Beta among this horde again and everything, and I can't really tell where they are, like, you know, by this shot, but then, like, you know, the last shot of the trailer is pretty much Dale slicing and dicing through some walkers in the woods, and that's pretty much the end of the 10:15 trailer. Now let's move on to the sneak peeks. So before we do hop into the sneak peeks, and this is while I'm editing, and this is something I forgot to mention in the video about the trailer, but so far in all the sneak peeks and trailers, we have not seen Gabriel anywhere. Like, he has not been seen at all, which is probably meaning very bad news for him, and it's upping his chance of possibly getting the tower death. So the first sneak peek takes place between, like, you know, Ezekiel, Princess, Eugene, and Yumiko in the alley again. Pretty much Yumiko gets a little, like, aggressive with the princess and everything, and she gets a little smart back and everything, and I absolutely love when Ezekiel talks to the princess because he's like the funny and calm voice of reason in this scene and everything, and we do learn a lot about the princess and everything, that she's been, like, you know, alone in this, like, you know, place for a year, and overall I'm loving her character already just by this, like, you know, one scene and just this opening. She's hilarious and everything, and how she questions if they're real and everything, like, oh, I've never hallucinated before or anything, but there's always a first for everything and stuff like that, and just their reactions are just even better because they're just like, what the fuck is this? This is just an awesome and highly entertaining scene and everything, and she pretty much tells the group that her name's Princess, and weirdly enough, Ezekiel, it looks like he's almost about to say king, so that's weird. Maybe it's a point to a relationship a little bit. I'm not sure. A lot of people have been, like, you know, like, suggesting that might be, like, you know, a possibility. I don't know. They mentioned their mission and everything in meeting to her, and she asked if she could join, but then walkers emerge, and she, how do I say this, fucking mows them down or anything with, like, her LMG, and the horses run, and they're pretty annoyed. Overall, an absolutely amazing and funny scene and everything. Now onto the last and final sneak peek. This sneak peek takes place in Alexandria during the invasion, and this is when, like, you know, the whispers explain no one's here to Beta and everything, but very weirdly, Beta whispers, like, where and anything. He's like, where did they go, maybe? And he hears a voice, and it sounds like they say, like, or the voice says in his head and everything, saying they flee somewhere and everything, and Beta mentions Ocean. Maybe referring to Oceanside, and I completely forgot about Oceanside, actually. What if the group fled there and anything, and the horde goes there through the woods and anything, destroys it, and they end up at the hospital later? I don't know, maybe. Also in the comics, the group does take the, like, you know, the horde there and everything to the ocean to get rid of all the walkers, so I wonder how this will be played out and how they'll get rid of, like, all these walkers, like, this massive amount. We then see Alden and Aaron, who are inside the windmill and everything, and Alden signs to Aaron and everything, Ocean. At least I think he says Ocean or whatever, but Alden looks out again and everything, but Beta looks behind him, and Alden quickly, like, you know, goes back around. Aaron, like, starts to scarily question if Beta saw him and everything, and Alden is, like, frozen in fear. Now, a lot of people have been saying that this is the tower death scene. This is where it will take place. And I've seen a lot of counter arguments that being like, you know, this is the windmill, this is not the tower, and that, you know, it just wouldn't make sense now. Now, one of these two could die in the tower scene, but I don't think it'll be in the windmill right here, because in the trailer later down the line or anything, we do see Alden and Aaron outside Alexandria tracking the horde, so maybe that's why Alden told Aaron, like, you know, about, like, you know, Ocean, meaning Oceanside, and that they're, like, you know, tracking, like, the horde and everything, and will maybe warn Oceanside to leave and evacuate. Or this scene of them outside the walls could be them tracking the horde before the invasion of Alexandria, and that they just get inside to warn everyone to leave and everything, but stay behind, or maybe get trapped in, or one of them die here. So many questions. Also, one last thing before we do end off the video right here, there was this little shot right here inside the AMC logo, or kind of square that they always usually have at the end of these trailers, and usually there's, like, behind the scenes photos or some stuff that you don't really, like, you know, need to take a look at, and there's nothing really usually there. It's just like a shot from the trailer, but weirdly enough, we have right here a shot. It's very hard to see, but we have a shot of all four of them kind of standing, like, you know, in, like, arm to arm or anything, and just looking at something. So my number one thought when seeing this is, I wonder if this is them kind of looking into, like, the, like, you know, trail, like, you know, yards or whatever, or if this is them looking into one of the trains and everything, or if this is just in general them meeting, like, you know, the Commonwealth soldiers at the train yard and them, like, looking at, like, someone or something. So that was the trailer and all the sneak peeks we have for 10 to 15 so far. There are definitely tons of questions I have now. Who will get the tower death? How will the episode end? Does Negan tell Lydia the truth? So many questions. But make sure to leave your thoughts and questions down below and everything in the comments so we can have a discussion. I'm definitely very excited excited to see this episode because, well, one, this is the episode before the finale and everything, even though they've said that this is the end and everything, that 16th bonus episode, fuck that. But I am definitely very interested to see, like, you know, the whole situation of the Horde, like, you know, just, there's a lot of stuff in this episode, like, that I'm excited for, too much to explain in one video. But yeah, like I mentioned before, the trailer and sneak peeks will be linked down below in the description, most likely in the order that I went through them in this video. And yeah, let's make sure to have a discussion down below in the comments and everything. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more of the latest Walking Dead content, reviews, breakdowns, and shit like this. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace, my amigos, and peace out.